You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel alright. The kind you wanna stay up with all night. You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel whole. They won't leave your side when you lose control. The ones that don't let you lose your soul.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We had a little break and took a week off. Hopefully you guys were busy enough over the holiday season to keep yourself, occupied. I know that there's a lot going on. It's funny because the new year we start and we were still on break when it was the first last week, and so we're not really in a new routine. But I don't know about you guys, but today I woke up thinking everything's gonna change. You know, it's that same thing every single year. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be different. The big joke around my house is I'll pat my belly and I'll tell my wife, hey, you see this? Say goodbye to this. It's going away. You're never gonna see it again. She just rolls her eyes and laughs.
Called New Year's resolutions.
Right. Every time. So
yeah, this time of the year, I always go in the gym, and I see all these people with their new workout clothes on and everything, and it gets real crowded. But I always tell myself, give it 2 or 3 months, and they'll all be gone.
Well, the gym is always, all year long, it's more crowded on Mondays, right? Because everybody has good intentions.
Right.
But at the beginning of the year, on Mondays, it is just jam-packed. It looks like Disneyland in there. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And then Fridays, especially late afternoon or early, whatever, I heard somebody once say, a young person, that, you know what, I want to get pumped up for the weekend.
Yeah.
So I look good.
Yeah.
Now, I still have a voice issue, but I told somebody today 3 decades ago or 4, it was a long time ago. I think it's before you were born, Josh, that I had surgery on voice polyps. And they're notorious for coming back. And maybe they came back, maybe they didn't. I don't know.
No, I remember that. Do you
remember that?
You had a little whiteboard and you had to write everything down.
I'd write everything. I'd have staff meetings and I'd write everything down and show them.
Yeah, I remember.
I'd go around with a little board marking because you can't talk for quite a few days after that surgery. But
it's like, oh, Dad's yelling again. Well, how do you know? There's a bunch of exclamation marks.
Original emojis. He had the emojis on the whiteboard. He's like, you're mad at it. You just put a
We
sad
didn't
face.
have available cell phones like we have today, or I could have used those. But I just had a marking board. I'd follow people around, bugging the daylights out of them in the church. Charlie Garcia especially. And I'd tap him on the shoulder and hold up a busy mark board.
Oh, that's funny.
So, we're back, and we appreciate all the comments and things you say about our podcast. But I like to always start off with something funny before you get anything serious. And on BuzzFeed, it said, this always irritates me. People are sharing reasons they secretly judge people, and you definitely need to see if you're doing these things. And so I just want to bring out a few of these, just kind of get the ball rolling here. Number 1, not putting away their shopping carts. That irritates me so much. I don't want to cause a scene, but I want to tell them to go put their cart in the appropriate place. Mm-hmm. Now it's confession time. Do you always put them in the appropriate place?
Always.
Do you?
I will stand on that. I do.
Good for you.
No, the reason is...
I know why you...
Is because I did a sermon on this where I showed a picture of a bunch of carts that were all crammed together in a parking lot, not where they're supposed to be, not in the little, cart receptacle, whatever that thing is. And I did a whole thing where I said, if you want to be a good Christian, put your cart back where it's supposed to go. And the whole point was, people are watching everything you do, like in not to put pressure on people, but it's the little things that matter that show character, right? It's like, but I will give a huge caveat on that. Busy mothers get a full pass. Like if you have a kid in the car and you have things going on, I get it. Like roll that thing right onto the traffic. I don't care. That's fine. But if you are able, put the cart back, man. Like
I look at it this way.
Huge pet peeve of mine.
When I put my groceries in my car, I look around. And if there's one even in a reasonable distance, I'll go put it back up.
But have you noticed the fancier the grocery store is, the less cart stations they have in the parking lot? Like you go to Walmart, Target, grocery, like they're all over the place. You go to Vons or Sprouts or Albertsons, there's like few and far between. I'm like, what is this?
Okay, then that's why very often, depending on where I'm at, I look around, I go, come on, what's up with this? I don't even see a cart placed. So then I do the second best thing. I look around and see if anybody's watching me. And then I go put it wherever everybody else is putting theirs.
Kick it into the bush.
Fair enough. And there's a guy on YouTube.
Yes.
That
I know.
follows people around.
Cart
and
nerd.
Yeah, he's like, you didn't put your cart away. And they're like,
And then he puts a magnet on their car and calls them
I
lazy,
say, here, you
lazy
go,
buns.
you go put it away for me. I can't find a place. So here, thank you for drawing this to my
People
attention.
get so mad though when he corrects them.
They
it's
do.
so funny. Like,
I know.
hey, go put your cart back, and he calls them lazy buns or whatever, and then they just lose their minds. I'm like, why over a cart, really?
well, you don't want to be on that show though.
You do not want to end up on
Yeah.
that YouTube channel.
Second one is using high beam headlights on any road except a rural one
Oh
out
my
in the
gosh.
sticks. Do you have people on the freeway sometimes get behind you with their lights
yes.
on bright?
Yeah, all the time. Just selfish people.
What do you do?
Well, depends on who's with you.
You know what? It's interesting because now we've moved to LED lights, and LED lights are so much brighter than the old halogen lights. And it's so, I think,
Yeah.
Depending on when, like, if you were raised driving in the 90s, every headlight now is super bright compared to the ones
Yeah.
that, that are out now. And so everybody looks like they have their,
Well, the other day
headlights
I was
on
driving
high.
at night and my brights were on and there was a corner, and so the person came around the corner. I turned them off. I think they thought I was like flashing at them because they started flashing me.
Yeah.
So then I start flashing them back.
Angry people out there today. They're just angry.
Yes, we are.
And
Yes, we
now
are.
this one's one that I've also done. But usually when I see an employee in the restroom, it says, when I'm in a public restroom, I low-key listen to if people wash their hands. And if they do, for how long? Yeah, I keep
That's
telling my wife it's
borderline
got to be
creepy.
20 seconds. But I only
20
do that if
seconds.
I see an employee in there. I really double check to
Oh, you're
see are they
supposed
going
to
to wash
sing.
their
You're
hands.
supposed to sing "Happy Birthday." That's the
You do.
rule.
I taught the girls that.
Yeah.
I taught your daughters that.
They taught me.
I said, happy birthday. Let's sing it all the way through. Because mom would just let them go in 3 seconds. Do it, and I go,
Yeah.
oh, no. That didn't do any good.
Yeah. Well, you would hate this. We got a cat, Dad, and this thing at night just wants to just like walk all over my face.
Oh, gosh, I'd have a
It's
fit.
The grossest thing
I'd have
ever.
a fit.
Yeah, the cat flies across the room. That's my new
A
pet
flying
peeve.
cat.
Yeah, she's.
Well, then you'll love the third one then. You just said that.
What's that?
Let's get you right there. How people treat animals. That's the third one.
You're a terrible person.
Fell into that
Hey,
one.
man, the cat always lands on her feet. So
That's what they say. Yeah,
I hate cats.
yeah, we have the first dog I can ever remember a little dog. I don't like little dogs. I like big dogs. But the first one that's kind of got my number now.
Yeah.
And Debbie said, you're spoiling her. But she's so smart. She'll come up and look at me while I'm eating, and I'll go, don't do that. She'll walk away and put her little head down and look the other way. She gets it. She understands our language.
That's the thing about dogs. They do understand. Cats, you tell them don't, and they just stare at you like,
I don't know. I'm a cat person.
get out of my way.
I love my cat.
Uh-oh. I'm not going to go there. I'm probably one of the
does that tell about somebody,
biggest
right?
cat haters in the world.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, not haters. Let's make that a little softer. I just don't care for cats.
So we moved out to the rural lands. We're out in some area where there could be mice and snakes and all kinds of stuff. And our cats will bring home, mice, rabbit, all kinds of stuff, and just put it on our doorstep. And I'm super thankful that they do, because it keeps all those things from coming
wow.
inside my house. And so,
Wow.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like,
they always-
what is the purpose of a cat? And then my wife says, this cat can't leave the house. And I'm like, what? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
That's tough. Our cat
leave the house.
goes out and just destroys all kinds of wildlife and then brings it to our doorstep, and it's a presentation for us. But I'm thankful because it doesn't end up inside of our house. And so,
Well, I had a similar thing. It dropped its little wet toy on my face the other day again. So that was fun.
it's letting you know it loves
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
here's
couldn't do that.
Here's a gift.
Well, there's one in here about cats. I saw that. Or no, where'd I see that at? That someone said, I have a problem. I think it might be on here with people that let their cats go out. They're an inside animal. And I go, really? I thought they were out there supposed to be getting the mice and the
Right.
rats and
Yeah.
everything.
Well,
I guess it depends where you live.
some people just
Yeah.
let their cats roam the neighborhood, and then they go from one cat to like 50 cats. And
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the people down the street from me. So my cat's going to end up being a part of that pack one of these days.
It's gonna join the
No.
neighborhood. Yeah, it's not good.
Is it you're a boy or girl?
It's a girl.
Okay, you're okay. You don't want a tomcat.
No.
And another one here, and I'll rephrase it. People that don't read the room, or it says here how unaware they are of what's going on around them. get in a cell phone, block a grocery aisle, on and on. They have a hard problem with that. Now, I'll rephrase my problem with that a little differently. The other day, I was in the gym talking to the guy behind the counter, and I was inviting him to church and kind of getting into his life. And another fellow Christian came in, saw us, interrupted the conversation, took it down a whole different road. I almost had him ready to commit to come to church. And I thought, dude, you didn't even read the room. You didn't read the room. You didn't see what was going on here.
Yeah.
And so I have a little problem with that. Do you guys? And people don't read the room. You're not aware of where they're at, you know.
It's hard, yeah. But what do you do? I mean, it's like I've spent a lot of time over the years thinking about what I can and can't control, you know?
Sure.
And in that situation, if you try to control it.
No, you can't control it, but it just kind of gets on your nerves.
It does, no. It fully gets on your nerves.
That's all I'm saying. You can't control it.
No,
I just smile, have a good day.
Yeah. It's frustrating for sure.
Okay, here's one. Oh, I'll tell you, we're confessing today. Said it gets on my nerves seeing people wear pajamas in stores and at the gym.
Kids are starting to do that.
It's a fad.
Yeah, I was about to say. You watch the kids walk to school, like to
And the
high school, and
pajamas.
they're all in pajama pants. And I'm thinking, when did this become a thing?
I just thought they got up late myself, but I guess that's the style. KB, do you wear pajamas?
No? Okay.
I know
Did you see
Tyler
that
doesn't.
sometime?
He just did 6'7". By the way, just for you guys, he went 6'7", and
much.
100% I've seen this guy in pajama pants during maybe work hours.
It's
I
funny.
won't call him out, but
One of my nieces
you go.
was wearing pajama pants. She came over to our house over the holidays, and I think she's like high school age. And then right after that, I see my daughter wearing them. You know, she's walking around
Isn't that
only
funny
in pajama pants.
how that happens?
Yeah, it's really cute, but it was just funny.
Oh, gosh. The ninth one is, having worked in the service industry since I was a kid, I watch how people treat the people who are serving them.
That's
And
a big one.
yeah, it is. You know, you have to be nice. Even when they don't serve you well, you still have to be nice. I do, because they might go to our church. I don't know how many times, if you guys had this happen lately in the last year or two, that I'll engage with somebody. Like I had a notary come to my house. I've had it happen several times. I was in a real estate office a while back. Anyway, they'll talk to you for 10 minutes, and they won't reveal they go to your church till the end.
Yeah,
And I
that's
go,
happened to me a
"Whoa."
couple times. And you're like, oh, you're replaying everything you
You
said
replay.
or did. I'm like, okay, I think I'm okay.
And when they talk about work outside of work too much, I do that. Well, with you guys, we're all in the same business, but I catch myself a lot going, today, don't talk about work.
Yeah,
Put it on the shelf for a while.
yeah, it's good practice.
And I don't get this. What is a monoculture lawn?
Yeah, I didn't.
Never heard it.
It says having a monoculture lawn at this point. There's no need for it. It's not functional for anything other than sustainable, less expensive yards can provide. Honestly, they're ugly. The amount of work and pesticides that go into it. Are
Is
they
it just
saying
having grass?
I looked it up and said one breed of grass or something.
I don't know.
I just think somebody doesn't like people have really manicured lawns that put in winter rye and everything. I think somebody's having an issue with that. And I go, none of your business. If we want that, we want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand what they're saying. I get frustrated with my lawn, but at the same time, it would cost me a lot more money to do my, landscaping to like a desert motif or something like that. Like, that's expensive.
Also, again, depending on where you live, grass is a great way to keep the dust down. So
Yeah.
if you didn't have grass, you would
That's
just
true.
have dirt.
That's
And
very
so
true.
You have to just be
And
careful.
and you know how it goes in town. If you're the one house that's not taking care of your lawn,
Oh,
people
gosh.
are gonna.
Oh,
you know,
God.
You're gonna write about it.
There's one neighborhood close to me, and these people have so much pride in their home. I mean, boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden, there's one bad one.
Yeah, and you
You go,
notice.
Oh, you know, this one here, I'm going to see if this is true for you guys, but grammar, spelling, and punctuation. If I receive something from somebody, let's say like a business thing, and they got a couple misspelled words or punctuation, I throw it away. That's terrible to say, but I usually throw it away. Okay, Nikki's smile. I do. I throw it
This is really
away.
big for me. Like, I'm like, if you want me to follow you, like, I want things written correctly. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be like
Mistakes happen,
perfection.
yes,
Yeah.
but when there's several of them
Yeah,
in a paragraph, you go, "You want me to give my business to you?"
Well, with the
I don't know
tools,
if I would.
with the tools that we have these days, there's not a lot of excuses for that.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, people lack education. That's fine, but you have Grammarly, you have ChatGPT, you have all these tools where you can, run it through and usually it fixes most of the mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's no excuse for it. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one here is so funny. Now, I'm going to offend somebody out there possibly, and if I do offend you, I'm so sorry. But they wrote down driving Tesla trucks. Everyone comes by, my wife said, don't even say it. That's your least favorite vehicle on the road. You hate it. Don't even say it. I said, can I say one more time? If you gave me one of those free and I had to drive it, I wouldn't take it. I just don't like those. And so sorry if you own one. I apologize.
My 6-year-old loves them.
Oh, see, my boys too.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a Tesla
Cybertruck, yeah.
Every time you see it.
I think it's pretty cool that it's bulletproof. It'll
Is it though?
Yeah, 9mm up
You
to.
might have to be because people might start shooting at you.
up to a 45. It's pretty crazy. I mean,
That's funny.
I think it's cool for that reason, but they're not very functional. They weigh a lot, and then you have to charge them. It kind of defeats the purpose of a utility truck, right?
They're just not pretty to me. They just, they belong somewhere else.
I heard a rumor.
Flintstones.
I heard a rumor this last weekend that that in California they changed the speed limit to 60 miles an hour everywhere.
Really?
Did you guys hear that?
No.
I think that was a joke.
Was that not true?
I think it was
Okay.
a
I hope
thing
so.
spreading on
Somebody
the internet
told
that
me
wasn't
this, and they
true.
were dead serious. They're all for reals. This is it's
No,
like
I
mean, I
60
would
miles an hour.
believe
I'm
it.
like, what?
Yeah, I would believe it, but
That's crazy.
yeah.
You know how many places in Texas it's 80?
Yeah.
Posted 80.
I'm gonna move to Texas.
So you can go
It
85.
sounds like a good waste of taxpayers' money to replace all the signs in California.
Yeah, right.
For 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, for 5
know.
miles an hour.
Is it true? Probably not.
You're gonna find out. Yeah.
And
find
then
out.
how someone talks to their children in public, that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real big.
How they treat their kids.
I'll
Yeah.
just say, wait till we get to the car.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to the car.
And you're gonna be in so much trouble.
And then they look at me like, okay.
You're sitting there quivering. Just wait till you get in the
That's
car.
You know
worse than
what?
yelling
It's
at 'em. Wait till we get to the car.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like when I say, well, when your dad gets home, I mean, they have 3 hours of torture. It's better than any punishment, just because they have to tell their dad what they did.
Bad table manners.
They are. There's a bill that authorizes the Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit by 5 miles per hour on a highway.
There's
So-
a bill hasn't passed yet.
Yeah, so that would be like 70 to 65. That's not terrible, but
Yeah, it is for me.
leave it alone. You
I
know what
like to
mean?
drive fast. So the other one's bad table manners. Have you ever been anywhere and somebody's smacking their food and you almost start quivering? You go, oh, come on. I mean, I'm talking about, it doesn't bother me at all. Like sometimes I'll go somewhere fancy. Which one's my silverware? Which fork do I use? Which I don't like that at all. But I'm talking about out and out smacking and their mouth open and you go, ah. But bless their heart, maybe they got bad sinuses.
Right.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And that might be it. There's a bunch of them, but letting their cats outside. Outside cats can die in some. Well, I'm gonna be up at our ranch a lot, and I thought about getting a cat up there.
Oh, it'd be
because
perfect for the
I want the
barn.
cats and
I think the
mice
rules are
gone.
different when you're in a neighborhood versus when you're out in the country.
Oh, I had barn cats in Indiana, and I
Yeah.
loved, and they were the best. They
Yeah.
loved that being outside, and
Right.
even in
You
the
can
snow.
turn mine into a barn
Farms
cat.
always had them.
Yeah, I had
They
dozens
earn
of
their
them.
worth,
Yeah.
their value.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one here, this is I have a hard time with this one. Why is anybody judging somebody else on this? Paying someone to do a job they could easily do themselves. My husband and I are DIY pretty much everything. Some people will tell me they had a person come fix, build, paint, whatever. And I go, what? That's an easy job. I say to this person, mind your own business.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, some people, they can do it, but they're too busy doing their job to do it. So, you hire somebody else. But
Some people like me can't do it.
for me, I always want to attempt it. And then I end
Yeah.
up paying a lot of money at the hardware store. And then I end up having to hire somebody still. So it costs me like 4 times the amount.
The amount, yeah.
To not
At least
hire
you
someone.
attempted
Yeah, I
it,
think, it's just crazy. I mean, if somebody has the money and they're too busy, their schedule's going, and they got to get it fixed immediately, it's not your problem judging them. If they want to pay somebody to come and do it, and that's more convenient,
Yeah.
just
Also, you're supporting
We're
the
getting too
local economy.
judgmental.
Yeah, you're supporting the local economy by keeping these people
Yes.
having work. So what's the big deal with
Yeah,
that?
I agree.
Yeah, if you want to have somebody mow your lawn, let them do it.
The only convenience thing that I don't get is the drive up to Target and they bring you your stuff in back. Like you're sitting in the car.
I love that.
Again,
I love
busy
it.
busy moms. Give it.
I don't think
give it a
it's
full
bad if
pass.
they tip them good.
I don't.
No,
think
you don't tip them.
You can't tip
No,
them?
no, no,
I
no.
mean-
Hold on. Let's just back this up because it's like Amazon. It really is. Like, so, because I use
Okay.
this all the time. So you go to Target and you know you're going to go pick stuff up after work at Target.
Sure.
So you say, hey, I need to pick up deodorant, some things. And then you when you get there, you say, hey, I'm arriving to the store. They
Right.
bring your bag out to your car. They have it all set up and you get your groceries. So I think or you get your whatever product. So I think it's amazing because you're not having to go into the store.
Right.
You're not having to spend all this extra time shopping your stuff out. Somebody's doing it for you. So it's like Amazon, but you're just going to the store
Yeah.
versus your house.
I don't
You
know,
know,
man.
and then again, you
And
maybe
don't use Amazon because it's
maybe
like
you're not
it's the same
feeling
thing.
well.
I
You're
mean-
elderly.
But you still have. I'm a little bit with Josh in the fact that you still have to go and wait, and you're still
Yeah.
sitting in your car for
Yeah.
like sometimes it's up to like 20 minutes.
and they miss items too
yeah.
all the time. So I don't know.
I want it delivered. Like Sam's Club delivers to your
Yeah,
door,
delivery's
Costco
different.
delivers to your door.
Now, do you tip those people?
No.
Yeah, well,
The Amazon people?
No, not Amazon people. You don't tip Amazon when they come to your house, but you do tip like Instacart.
I should.
yeah,
Like
I tip
Instacart
that.
when they bring groceries to your house, you tip them.
Yeah.
I try to tip everybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know some rules of some like Costco or whatever, these big box stores. Now, so I just walk up and say, if you don't mind, I just stick in their pocket, you know.
I do use
But-
DoorDash though, because the kids.
Okay, that's the don't even.
Not
kids,
me.
man.
You can't
Don't get me
complain
going.
about people going to Target. And
I'm
saying,
not complaining
Oh,
about
okay.
people. I'm saying that I don't want to do it.
Somebody takes
There's
a
a
sip of your
difference.
drink
Okay.
while
I don't
you're on
care
the
if other
way.
people do it.
Somebody helps themselves to French fries with dirty hands.
Yeah.
Somebody pulls a piece of your burger off and bites it. You
No,
don't know. No
they-
way.
they seal 'em
No
now. They
way.
seal 'em
It's
shut.
pretty
Oh,
secure.
do they seal them?
Yeah.
They do. The restaurants do now.
Oh, I have something so funny. I
they
shouldn't
don't.
tell this. This is hilarious.
I shouldn't tell
This happened in Vegas about 10 years ago. And I'm getting older. I don't keep up with stuff. Didn't even dawn on me. And so at 2 in the morning, I got a doorbell ring in Vegas. There had been a lot of crime in Vegas. And I got up. I said, "Who is it?" They said something. And I go, "You better get out of here. I got a loaded gun right now. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get out of here." What are they doing ringing my doorbell at 2? And then I looked and it was a DoorDash thing. And man, they ran.
It was like a scene out of
The Home Alone. You did the Home Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I
did
didn't
the Home Alone
didn't
thing.
even think about that. It
Get
was
out of
way
here, you
back.
filthy animal.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was real
Hey,
popular.
snakes! I'm gonna give you the count
Somebody
of
was
10.
scared to death. Man. I got a gun right here, man. You better get
That's
out of here
funny.
now.
That's really funny.
That guy quit his job that night. He's like, I'm done.
We're having fun. I don't judge these people. I really don't. I'm just saying I have an opinion sometimes, but because I'm a Christian and because I try to rejoice in all things, I just wipe it away and go, I can do it. But this one here, I do have an opinion, but I'm not judging him.
Yeah.
But at the gym, it's happened to me twice. I'm on the treadmill and I'm deep in thought. Somebody comes up with a conversation on their iPhone on speaker, and I'm hearing all their conversation. And I just feel like politely saying, "Hey, do you mind? I'm just trying to get into peace mode here." I won't. It's not worth making an issue out of. None of these are worth making an issue
I
out
do
of.
have
for
a
me.
huge pet peeve when it comes to the gym etiquette. For those of you
Yeah,
guys that are
Yeah,
starting,
gym etiquette's a thing. Yeah.
if you go to the gym and you're using a machine, just use it and be done with it. Don't sit there and get on your
Yeah.
phone and scroll. Don't put your towel there and use another machine and come
Right.
back
Oh,
and
that's the
expect
worst.
people to
Yeah.
not, move it.
Move it right.
And if somebody asks you to work in,
Let 'em.
work in.
Yeah.
What, did I tell you what happened at the gym a while
etiquette,
back?
man.
It was hilarious. I was at the gym, and I might have told this on here, but I went over to use the machine, and there was a water laying on it, which means I've marked this.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a big old muscular, he's a friend of mine now, Fernando.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a friend that I didn't know him. Now he's a good friend of mine. But he's working out, big old strong Hispanic dude, really strong. And I said, "Hey, is anybody using this?" He said, no. He said, "That guy put that water there. He's the other side of the gym. You use it. Just move that water and use it." I said, "Okay, but if he comes back, I'm going to tell him you told me." And he said, "Okay, you do." And no joke, that guy came back and was staring at me. And I said, "Hey, he told me I could use it." And he Fernando flew into that guy.
Oh, man.
I said, "What are you, a spoiled brat? How were you raised in a barn?" So you don't take up 2 machines in the gym when it's
Right.
busy like this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, come on, tell me.
Yeah.
How were you raised? I said, "I'm out of here. I'm out of here." But
Fernando
like
was
this
waiting
guy.
for that. He was waiting
now,
for that opportunity.
Fernando, run, I said, "You got my back? I got your back, man."
That's funny.
That's fun.
But what I do, and I've done it more lately because I'm in a rush. I'm in the gym and everybody's on their phone. I feel like, okay, now I'm a Christian. I feel like saying, "Leave your stinking phone at home. Get off of it." Because I'll watch them, but I don't do that because I don't have my temper anymore. But that's what I'd like to do. But I found out that the majority of people I go up to, and they're on their phone, and I go, hey, how many more sets you have there? Oh, I'm sorry, I just got one more. But a guy 3 days ago took the cake, a younger guy. I said, how many sets there? He's on his phone for like 10 minutes. I'm not talking about 30 seconds while you're resting. I'm talking about, I watch him 5 or 10 minutes. I'll go do 5 sets on another machine, come back, they'll still be there on their phone.
Oh, my goodness.
And so anyway, I told him, I said, hey, he'd been on, I watched him for 5 minutes. He'd been on the phone and not done a set. I said, how much longer you got there? I got 2 more sets. He went right back to his phone.
Wow.
And I went, oh. So again, I want to preface again, these things don't bother me. I have an opinion, but I get my mind off them quick. And even if they make me a little angry, I go, whatever. We're just giving you an inside look at ourselves.
Gyms need to hire gym monitors, like somebody that goes around and monitors. Like, hey, you've been. They used to say like, hey, you can only be on this treadmill for 15 minutes, or you can only be on this machine for this much time. Now there's a new trend in like working out. You know,
they film it.
No, well, the filming thing, that's terrible. But it is waiting more time between sets. So we used to, when we go to the gyms, it's like, hey, wait 30 seconds between sets and then work out. Now they're saying wait 4 or 5 minutes between sets. The reason why is letting your muscles get all the blood back in them, and then you fully recover.
That fad will pass fast.
Well, they're saying it's super healthy for you. And it comes from a lot of people that say, you know, like you want to be at your best every time you lift. Well, again, it's a fad, right? You said
it's a fad.
You've seen workout fads, but it is a new thing. So I've noticed at the gym, people like, you know, they're sitting there for a long time in between sets. But with that said, you know, a lot of people let you work into. So
I do 20 seconds between sets. I work cardio and weights at the same time. I will tell you, through 50 years, I've watched the people in best shape in the gym. They are maniacs. They rest quick, no more than 20 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. I look at the others that aren't in shape. They're the ones resting 5 minutes.
Sounds like a good trend. You're like, hey, I got 5 minutes between this set. You want to go get some ice cream?
How long are you in the gym? You're in the gym 3 hours?
Yeah. Who has that kind of time? That's the question, you know?
Well, that's what I feel like sometimes. You can tell, bless their hearts, they're retired or they're young in school, and you go, man, some of us have a life. We have to get in here.
When I go to the gym, I have my phone because my music's on there, or maybe like a workout's on there or something.
But you have headphones.
But I have common sense too, so like I'm not like you know. And if somebody's if there's 3 benches and they're all full, and somebody's walking around looking, I'll ask them. I'll turn around and ask them, hey, do you want to work in?
Yeah.
You know,
I've spaced out before on accident where I've been on a set in the gym. And, you know, I was in between sets and I started reading something and I looked down like, oh my goodness. Like,
But you know, Vince, I think that's the case of most people.
Yeah.
Because most of them when you come up, they, I'm sorry, I'll just one more set. Yeah. They're spacing out. That's good.
I'm guilty. I've done it before, but I try not to do it.
Yeah, back in the day, we were in Ventura, and I almost got in a fight with some young guy. It was like he's taking up two different machines, and I jumped on the machine, and he got all mad at me, and I was like, "Well, dude, you can't take 2 machines."
Yeah, you can't do that. The 2 machine thing's a pet peeve of mine.
I walked away, but
I'm cool in the gym. I had a guy do that to me the other day. He came up, and I had one of those. There's 2 pulleys on each side, and I was supersetting.
Yeah,
and he came up and grabbed one of them, and he was a big guy. Looked like he had a chip on his shoulder. That might influence me a little bit.
A lot of angry dudes in the gym.
But yeah, and so I just said, whatever. You know, I can go do something else. And so really, honestly, I'm telling you stuff that I have an opinion about.
Yeah.
I don't judge people on it.
Yeah.
I got a bigger life than that. So I'll just move around. So I'll go to another machine, whatever. So I try to be real cool. But it's a topic that we're looking deep in the.
Well, it's good to have a standard,
a
standard, your own personal standards and your own personal opinions, because you apply them to yourselves, right?
Yeah.
And that's really important to have. When we judge people, we're just saying, well, everyone else is they're not as good as me. I'm a good person. They're not good. You know, that's judgment. But when you're saying, I have a standard here, I'm going to live by the standard, and I do expect other people to do that, I think that's fine.
It's not worth making an issue out of. Like Fernando did it for me, but it's not worth making an issue. That guy still comes to the gym that he jumped all over. Yeah. I don't think he likes me, and I didn't do anything. Fernando did it.
Fernando.
But, you know, hey, you talked about today. We talked about a subject, and you said a new mindset. Now, you know, I look at that and I become more obsessed with new perspectives than I do mindset. I did look up, I just want to see what AI would say about new mindsets for Christians. I just was curious. And, you know, it was really good. You know, I looked up what is a new mindset, and I just wanted to see what Chat GPT said. And it says, you're open to learning, flexibility, your growth focus, self-awareness, all that. And then I looked up Christianity, a new mindset. It says, you change the way you think. You move from it's all about me to how can I love God and others. I thought, good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says interchange. Christianity teaches that real change starts on the inside. Anyway, it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about mindsets, about perspectives. I don't know where you want to start with that at, but I always have things to say. I don't want to take all the time. So.
Well, you said it starts with your thoughts, and that's exactly right. I mean, everything starts with your thoughts, right?
Right.
If you want to change a behavior, a habit, you want to change, you want to get in shape, you have to change your mindset. You just do. Because if you don't, I mean, I'll be honest, the last couple of weeks we were on break and I got lazy. We started staying up later and we started waking up a little bit later and eating lots of sugar and cookies and all kinds of wonderful things, But you get lazy, and I think that's the natural kind of way for us if we do nothing. You go, what do you always say, Dad? You always talk about that recline, decline,
incline. It's a business concept. They can apply to churches and individuals. You're always either in incline, recline, or decline.
Right.
And you can only stay in recline a certain length of time where you will automatically fall into decline.
So recline meaning you're relaxed. You're not really being what's the word I'm looking for? You're not being
active, go-getter.
like
no, recline when it comes to business and churches, it's just running on the status quo.
Okay.
You come to a place where you're in your comfort zone.
So
here's what we do every week, and we're not doing anything new.
Being comfortable.
Like you're not being intentional, right? You're not being intentional about growth, about doing something a different way or a better way. That makes sense. So it's not really laziness. It's just kind of getting caught up in a routine.
It's comfort zone.
Yeah. Well,
like right now, I'm in incline in one area, and your mother's getting very mad at me. I do all my studying on the couch. I do. And then when I get lunch, I'll watch 2 judge shows. I like those. And then I watch sports in the evening. She says, you're becoming a couch potato. And I've got to have a new kind of thinking now. I got to know that when you get older, the longevity thing comes into play when you stay active.
Right.
Move. And so, I mean, I got all kinds of things, but that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Like I don't make New Year's resolutions anymore. I used to, and you fail at those enough times, you start feeling bad about it. What I do though is I do see this the New Year as a time to kind of collectively, everyone's trying to improve or get out of a rut, maybe change a few things in their lives, and I try to focus on a change of mindset. Signing up for a race in a couple months, that's one thing you can do. It's one thing we're doing, I think, or I'm doing. Just committing to something that's beyond yourself, that's going to get you out of that zone. I think it's important to push yourself. And so it seems like this time of year is the perfect time to do that.
Well, we're thinking about moving up to the ranch, and it's a long thing go spend a lot of time up there. That keeps me active. And I told your mother, she's always had something that she thought was interesting about me that she didn't like. She says, you're the kind of guy that you only mend the fence when the cows are on their way. And that's me. And so I realized I got to have a new way of thinking. If I don't want to become, because I do all my work, I'll work 8 to 10 hours on the couch. I'll just sit there on my computer, and that's my work. But if I don't change my way of thinking, I'm going to knock some years off my life. But knowing the way I do things and the way I operate, I've almost got to have the cows on their way. And so I've got to put myself in a situation where I have to stay active.
Yeah. One of the big changes I've made in the past few years is I used to really, really, really avoid any type of situation where it's going to be social in a way to where it's going to stretch my comfort zone, like you said. And so now I'm committing to more things that I wouldn't normally commit to, knowing that it's going to be good for me. It's going to stretch me, and I don't love it. And you know how it is. You commit 2 weeks ahead of time, and you're like, oh, no problem. I'm going to do that. But then it's the day before, and you're like, why did I do that? But then, I've learned that for myself, just stretching that muscle is huge. It's really important for me, and it helps me grow in other areas, which is really interesting, right? Because when you learn that you're pliable, that you can kind of change your habits and you can change who you are, then it seeps into every area of your life.
Comfort zones will kill you.
They will, yeah.
But
they
learning
really will.
builds confidence too. You know, it's like I picked up. My kids laugh at me, but I don't go a day without doing Duolingo now. Like it's like I'm dead set on learning
What is
Spanish.
that?
It's learning. It's a program that helps you learn a different
Spanish.
language. So I've been trying to learn Spanish, and I'm like on day 80 now. My streak's on 80. I'm so excited. And my kids laugh, but now they're like, "Oh, Dad's actually learning Spanish," you know, and it builds confidence. It's like you're like, "Okay, I can do this." It's something, and like you said, I think once you start changing something and you start seeing a result, it builds a confidence where you can keep moving forward and press on to that thing. I love that you talked about New Year's resolutions and that reset. Yesterday I went outside and I noticed that, I have leaves everywhere. I have a lot of yard work to do right now, but I have just dead leaves everywhere. And I started thinking about just all the trees that needed pruning. But without that pruning, without pruning all these trees and pruning them back, new growth can't happen, right? And so I do think it's a good time for us to reflect and think about the things that we need to prune in our lives in order to add things, because you can't add anything into your life, and you can't change your mindset unless you prune things from the past. So I think it's a good time to look back in 2025 and go, what worked and what didn't work.
So you're pruning out English?
Yeah, I'm pruning out. Yeah, I'm not. I'm slowly transitioning.
Podcast will be in Spanish.
I'm laughing because do you guys remember that commercial? Somebody was very creative. These guys get in a car to take a trip, 2 guys, and they put in this program. They're going to try to learn Spanish. They take this trip. It's like 3 hours. Get out and they're speaking fluent Spanish.
That's awesome.
Not there yet, but I'm getting better. And I have a good Gennaro. When I'm not sure about a word, I'm like, "Hey, Gennaro, is this right?" And he's able to correct me. But I do think that if you're able to change, if you're able to look back and be honest with what was good in 2025 or 2024, and then you're able to add, into 2026, saying here's where I want to improve. Here's how I can get better. But you can't do that without letting things die. You can't without old things falling off.
I tried to talk to my gardener the other day, and I said something in Spanish, and he just laughed and kept working. So I don't know what I said.
Hey, there's a lot of
not sure.
Spanish words and Italian words.
Yes,
to go along.
That can you get it a little bit wrong, and you said something really nasty.
Yeah, I don't know what I said.
You gotta be careful. Well, you know what? I've had a change of perspective or mindset or whatever about growing a church the last decade. I used to think, you grow a church, a mega church, by having good preaching and good worship. I mean, you nail those 2 things. But I think the culture shift now has went to purpose and relationships. Mm-hmm. And I think if you can have both, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Well, you showed something this last week at church, a video of these young college-age guys, football players, Nebraska, I think it was, something like some other whoever they were playing. They all got together at the end and they were praying, and the coach was kind of preaching to them. Really cool situation. And you said revival's happening, and I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how things are changing, and a lot of the revival's happening outside the church doors too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And I think that's something we need to focus on and realize that that's happening. I mean, right now we're talking about God and the things that He does, and we're also talking about life, but we're talking about God on a podcast, and it's reaching people that may not ever set foot in a church. But Vince and I were talking about the importance of people still going to church. We still believe it's really important. Mm-hmm. And so, and there's a reason for that. I think, can you grow as a Christian if you are only in a small group or meeting at someone's house? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But what's cool about a church, and our church in particular, I think of because that's our church, is how diverse it is and how different it is. Yes. I love the fact that I show up on a Sunday or Wednesday or whatever, and there's people there that that I wouldn't be having deeper conversations with on a regular basis, just because, not because I wouldn't like them or anything, just because I wouldn't, I wouldn't know them. Our paths wouldn't cross.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that I think is so wonderful about church. You think about the disciples. You think Jesus picked all the disciples because they were all the same? No, right? I think He picked different people from different families, and they're all around the same area. But He picked these young guys, knowing there was potential for conflict.
Yeah.
And when there's potential for conflict, there's potential for growth.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to understand.
It's almost like by design. You got a tax collector over here, and somebody over here that's a zealot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
just like, whoa, how could you
Now-
pick such different people?
That's not to say, though, and I say that also in the back of my mind, thinking that the church also needs to adapt and change as a whole and meet people where they're at.
Well, let me go back and add one thing that you said. I believe I give you probably 5 or 10 reasons right now for going to church. But one of them that's big in my mind, which I did not see a few years ago, it's honoring God. It's saying, I'm taking one day a week. This is God's day, almost akin to the Sabbath day in a way. But going, you think God doesn't see that? I get up, I get the kids all cleaned up, I get it. If they're coming, they put gas in their car, they postpone eating for a while to come and honor me.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge, and I never saw that before.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about how hard it is to get up on Sundays. I know for us, even growing up as kids, it was like, that's the day that everything goes wrong, that everybody's in a cranky mood. But that should show you how important it actually is. Like, we can get up on a Saturday and go out for breakfast, and it just flows, and it's just easy. And then you get up on Sunday and go to church, and it's the hardest thing you've ever did.
I know.
I think it's part of making God number one.
Absolutely.
I do.
That's true.
And then for all the reasons Josh said too, I mean, I love it. And churches have personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't get into that. Let's get to another topic unless you want to say more about this one. What about money and things? I'm getting a new perspective on that. I know from experience something I didn't know when I was younger, and that is things are superficial. They don't satisfy. I've owned what is my dream home in the financial status that I could afford. I've owned my dream home. I've had my dream car. I've had a knockdown, gorgeous wife. I still do. And, those things didn't satisfy me. I was ready to move on to something else. And it's a new mindset now. And I'll say more about that if we continue.
Well, I love that you brought that up because, one of the things you talked about yesterday or a couple days ago in your message was your spiritual gift. And I think knowing your spiritual gift is meaning that you find your purpose a little bit and what's important to you. And I think you can chase gold. I was just reading this documentary or listening to this documentary about the 49ers and how they all came out and they all thought they were going to get rich, but then they lost purpose. They ended up dying.
Not the San Francisco 49ers.
No, I think it's San Francisco. I'm
No,
going,
not
really?
the 49ers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
The
no,
OG.
the OG 49ers, the
Okay.
actual ones that matter anymore. But anyways, yeah, they didn't they just tried to get rich and they didn't have any purpose in California, and so they lost their way. I think it's really, really important to know what you're focusing and what your purpose is, because without that purpose, all things are fleeting, right? Like if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you can feel like you're wandering and lost. A little bit like, there's a story in the Bible that a lot of people know, whether you know the Bible or not, and it's about the Israelites wandering around in the desert, and they lost sight of God and they lost purpose. And I feel like a lot of times people are there. They don't know what to do, and they start doing something. They feel like it can fill a hole, or they start collecting possession, which there's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't have purpose, it's not fulfilling.
It's all an illusion. I was thinking of Proverbs 22:1 the other day, where it says a good name is more desirable than great riches, and good favor more than silver and gold. And I heard something this week, and I'm going to be very careful with this, and I might regret saying it. But we were talking in the back room yesterday. And see, at this stage of the game, I want good character. I want to leave a legacy of character and godliness more than I want to own things. And, it gives you a different perspective. And I won't say, but I'm just going to be very, very generic with this. But a guy that has a huge name in Christianity, and how that, and I know this first-handedly, it's not something second. I mean, kind of first-handedly. Anyway, long story short, he did some really tacky things. And even though he's made it to that place where everybody envies him, because he's rich and famous and on and on and on, his character is starting to show in some issues. And I go, I'd rather trade the riches for good character at this stage of the game. Now, when I was younger, I wanted both.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure you can have both to the degree you want to have it. I don't know. I mean, again, it's the love of money. It's not having money.
Sure.
It's the love of money. This guy in particular, anyway, a little lady in a wheelchair, had a picture, wanted him to autograph it. And our guy went back to him, the guy, somebody that we know very well, and they tossed in the trash. We don't have time for it.
Yeah.
And I go, what? And it got me to thinking, you know, maybe you have your name in lights, but man, right now, that isn't important to me. It's why would you do that to a little lady in a wheelchair that came a long ways to see you?
A little girl in a wheelchair.
Oh, it was a little girl.
A
I'm
little
sorry,
girl in a wheelchair.
And this is first-handedly as far as somebody's. I was there.
No, it's a real story.
It's a story.
I can validate.
And they said throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
I would stay there if 30 people wanted me to sign a book. I'd stay there and sign them all.
That's just jaded. Man.
It's just jaded. It's wrong. So I'm just saying, I have a different perspective in life as I get older. Yeah, things are important, and you get some joy out of all of them. But God was right in the end. It's like playing the game Monopoly. At the end, it all goes back in the box. And it's your character and legacy that
That's
remains.
so good. Yeah, it all goes back in the box.
Yep.
My son asked me this morning, he goes, are you and Dad just really sad on birthdays? Because you don't want any gifts. And honestly, it made me like start crying because I was like, no, because for us, like the best gift I can get is like my family around me and you guys writing me cards on our thoughts and our feelings for each other like that. It really, when you start thinking about the thing, all of this is going to burn. It's all going to, the only thing that I can take to heaven is people. That's
right.
it.
That's right. But then again, it's nice to have both. I mean, I'm nothing against nice things. I get overjoyed when I see people that are maybe a little richer and they have nice things. That's great. Have a beach house. We got a ranch house. We got all this. Great. Just as long as that doesn't become your priority.
God's
I heard a
first.
pastor a long time ago talk about how people would constantly come to him and say, what's God doing in your life next? Where's God taking you? What is God doing in your life, right? And the assumption was that God was like taking this person to a different place, you know, in life. Like where a lot of young people like think about this, like where is God going to send me?
Right.
You know, send me. Here I am, Lord. I will go. Right, like that whole thing. And this pastor, he said he always answers with the same answer. He says, I don't know, but that's not my goal. My goal is it has more to do with who he's creating in me, you know, and that's character. And that's, you know, what is God doing in my heart? What is he doing in my mind? You know, who am I becoming? Not where am I going? Right.
Yeah.
And I think in the church world, we get caught up with thinking about where God is taking us and whether it's a financial increase or whether it's a job or whether it's some sort of blessing. We get caught up on this. I just talked to a guy who was very involved in the occult. He was involved in that, and then he came to our church. Actually, he came to our church to kind of mess with us, I think, and kind of make fun of us. Then he got saved, and he was here for a while. And then he kind of left for a while, and then he came.
He's
back.
back now.
And
He's there
back.
yesterday.
Yeah, and so I went and talked to him for 5 minutes, and I was just like, yeah, it's like a lot of people think that when you give your life over to God, that your life's going to get easier, but it doesn't. It actually gets harder because God loves you so much that He's going to start. He's going to start working on you. He's going to start. He's not going to leave you the same as you were. And so that change, there's a lot of resistance in our hearts and in our minds to that change. And so, talking about mindset. God's like, okay, I want you to think differently. So He's going to allow things to not work out for you as much until you're uncomfortable enough to change. Because the truth is, a lot of us aren't going to change enough until we're uncomfortable. Like I was walking up a hill the other day, very out of breath. I'm like, okay, now it's time to work out, right? Like now I know I need to like start doing this. But if I'm comfortable, I'm not going to be pushed to do that. And so if some of you guys are out there right now and you're like, man, life is hard. It's really difficult. Well, good. That's a good thing. It's good when God is working on you and allowing, kind of holding back blessings from you, because that means He wants you to change. And it's not about the blessing sometimes; it's about you changing. And that
Josh, I've used this illustration for years. That if you're over here on Road B, and God wants you on Road A, He's not going to let you be comfortable on Road B.
Right.
He's going to really get your attention.
Right.
And that's part of the purpose of trials.
It's the resistance part, though, because a lot of people, you know, Road A, Road B. I love that you said that, Pastor, because I think a lot of people fight really hard and expend a lot of energy staying on the wrong road. You know, they spend a lot of resources and time and like, this is my path 100%. I'm supposed to be here. And they fight it until they're broken and they have to give up and there's no other choice.
Right.
But I think if we're able, in the midst of the thing, like you said, is when we're going through these hard times or we're trying to figure out this path, being able to go back to God and saying like, where am I supposed to go next? But it's taking that time out. It's pressing pause and saying, where am I? A lot of times I know I'm a fixer by nature.
Right.
Like if I have a problem, I think I can fix it. It's just in my blood. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, hey, the concrete's messed up here. I got this. I can fix it, right? And sometimes going and trying to fix something immediately is wrong, right? Because the cement could be wet. It could be cracked deeper. I don't know what the problem is until I fully evaluate it. And sometimes we need to stop and evaluate before we can even change our mindset.
I have a saying, maybe I'm kicking Balaam's donkey right now. That angel's up there trying to stop me, and I keep trying to get him back on path, get on path, and there comes a time where you stop and think, oh, wait a minute. I'll have problems on road A too. I know I will.
Sure. Right.
But now this is getting kind of ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I need to step back and look, am I kicking Balaam's donkey?
So one of the biggest things that you learn when you give your life to the Lord, and this is one of the things I was talking to this guy about at church, is the importance of obedience, right? And learning that God will give you marching orders. He will give you something. He'll put something in your heart, a burden for certain people, or just a gift, like you said. He'll give you that, and you want to use that gift. And so, a lot of people, they'll pray hard, they'll find God, they'll fast, they'll do all this stuff, and God will give them that word, right? And then they stop coming to God, and they say, "Okay, I got it from here," right? Mm-hmm. And then they end up on the wrong road because they didn't continue to get that guidance. I mean, in Matthew 6, Jesus teaches us how to pray by saying, "Give us today our daily bread." You just talked about this last week, Nicole. The importance of manna, that the manna that God gave from heaven would come down and it would rot after a day. Mm-hmm. So like God gives you a little bit every single day. In the Psalms, it says that your word is a lamp unto my feet. And if you think about an old school lamp with fire, right, in the dark, it only is going to light up 3 or 4 feet ahead. It's not going to light up. It's not one of those giant spotlights, Dad, that you like to get and shine around the neighborhood. It's just 3 feet ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that's what God gives you. He doesn't, it's because he wants you to continue coming back to him. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's one of the reasons that we end up on the wrong road sometimes. And you're right, though. But when you are on the right road, there are still hurdles. There are still difficult things. But I think the key to knowing whether you're on the right road or not, knowing whether you need to persevere or change roads, you're going to know that through prayer, continual getting the guidance from God, right?
Well, I go back to that Old Testament story of Caleb again. When they were handing out lands, he said, I want the land of the giants. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. Here's an old guy. He was old. And he said, that's the land. And I think I put so much emphasis today on experience and wisdom. Young people, use the wiser, older people around you. But I believe Caleb, this is an opinion, but I think he had the mindset of, you know what? I want the land where the giants are at, because that will force me to stay at the altar. It will keep me close to God. I know me, and I know that if I get a comfy, cozy land, I might fall away from God. Now, this is just an idea, but if I get that land, it will keep me at the altar.
That's true. Yeah.
And he was smart enough to know that. He had wisdom.
That helps me because I keep asking myself why I keep choosing the harder things. I'm like, what am I doing here? Yeah. Why am I working on this?
We also live in a generation too that something that was said that people know or resonate with is you can put lipstick on a pig. And I think a lot of times we try to settle problems with putting the lipstick on the pig, meaning that we try to cover up whatever's wrong on the inside with painting the outside, right? And until you deal with what's going on in the inside, you can't really resolve that outside thing. But we try to cover it up, right? And we walk through life pretending everything's okay and we're going to be okay. Somebody last week that I know decided that they were going to redo their deck. And so by redoing their deck, they were going to have to knock off all the old paint and then paint over seal the new deck. Well, the problem was it was raining last week, and so they were scraping the old deck, and then all the logs were waterlogged. All the wood was waterlogged, and then they sealed it back up with all the logs waterlogged. I'm like, that's going to cause so much internal damage. Like, you're just going to lose that whole deck because it's going to break eventually. And I think of it, if you're going through life and you're trying to, cover up whatever's happening inside of you, eventually you're going to break, because it's not, you have to resolve what's going on in your heart before you can move forward.
It bums me out, and you see that a lot in church, right? Like you see
100%.
We put on our best clothes, we put on our best face, we pretend like everything's fine. We want people to believe that we're on the good side of things. But church should be the place where it's also okay to be completely vulnerable. It's okay to come in and say, it's not okay. It's okay to be not okay. It really, truly is. And if you're like that every single week, we might have to have a conversation, okay, what's going on? Like, what are you doing to help yourself a little bit too? But ultimately it's okay to be in a
take your mask off
place.
Yeah.
Take your mask off. We think of the story of Moses. Comes off the mount, he's been in God's presence, and his face glows and he doesn't know it. It's glowing with the radiance of God. And so if I read the story right, when it stopped glowing, it started losing the glow. He started wearing a veil, a mask to hide it. And I think so often, because of whatever in our life, we're afraid that people are going to see us, so we put on our masks.
Right.
We have a closet full of masks. Now I'm going to a rodeo at the fair. I'll put on my cowboy mask, hat, boots. Never touched a cow in my life, but I'm cowboy today. When I go to church, I put on my Christian mask. And I think if church could become a place where we all take off our masks.
Yep.
And I think it has a lot to do when I'm right with God. I'm not trying to hide anything. I've never tried to present myself as someone who has it together.
Yeah.
As Tom touched on once, said, when I came to church first day, you were talking about a mistake you made and how you learned from it. My job is not for people to see how holy and great and fantastic Ron Vietti is. I want them to see how weak he is and how much his life identifies with mine, yet God uses him. So now I have hope.
The church is a lot like a hospital, and in a hospital, you walk in and you'll have sick people, you'll have patients, right? But you'll also have visitors. And you also have physicians, and you also have, support staff, nurses, all these different types of people that are there for different reasons and different purposes. But the whole idea of a hospital is to help the sick, and
get people healthy.
Yeah, right. Yep. And a church, you might have a third of the congregation that's really hurting, and then you might have people that are there that aren't hurting, but they have a purpose in helping those that are, and that's what I love about that idea of coming together as that body of Christ and saying, sometimes Jesus' body, which is the church, has a bum toe, or and that affects the entire body. And so it's important for us to see that and to have empathy and say, hey, we may not have all the answers today, but we see your pain, we see your frustration, we see your difficulty.
Josh, if we could see in the spiritual realm, after church empties on Sunday, we'd see blood all over those chairs.
Yeah.
Bleeding. Some people bleeding badly.
Yeah.
Others not so much. What's really a huge thing with us, we must realize, when we're in that pulpit, we don't know who's out there, who's at church with the thousands of people we have that's planned to go home and commit suicide today.
Yeah.
We have to be so careful with what we say and sensitivity.
Yeah.
And so, that's very true. People are hurting. And is the church, is it a combination of a hospital and a basic training center in the Army? Is it a combination of the two?
It's probably lots of things, but the reason that the hospital thing came to mind is because in a hospital there are people that are sick and there are people that aren't sick. Yeah. Most of the people that are in a hospital building, your husband works at a hospital, Nicole, are not sick.
It's true.
They're there to support. You know. But you're right. There's also an aspect to church where it's like we're getting ready, we're getting prepared.
Yeah.
We're getting training so that we can go out there and
well,
and
the
love on
hospital is
people.
meant to save your life, right? It's meant to help you get back to good health.
Right.
But they don't take it. They don't send you home with, hey, this is how you eat better. You have to go to a dietitian. You have to go to. You have to see. So there is a two-part.
I think it is. Look at Paul in Ephesians. He says that the church is a place, or maybe I should rephrase that. In the Christian arena, the leaders, these pastors and evangelists and pastors and teachers, they're there to equip the saints so that the saints can do the work of the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I told you that word equip in the Greek is the same word, akin to the same word in the Bible of mending nets. Mending nets, equipping saints, same Greek word, same Greek phrase. So we come in with broken nets, and through the ministry of this fourfold ministry in Ephesians 4, God speaks through us, as I said yesterday or Sunday. He speaks through us to help these people get their nets remended, all the brokenness healed, so that they will go out and do the work of the ministry. They will go out. So it's a twofold thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, and this is for all three of you because you guys are all people of action. I'm more of a procrastinator than you guys. I know this about myself. If I have an idea, and you know this, Vince, if I have an idea, I'm like, I think I might do it. And so I will procrastinate because I allow other things to get in the way. And this is my issue. What keeps you guys from procrastinating when you know that you're supposed to do something that God has put on your heart?
I know I'll be kicking myself the next week or whatever, and I'm getting tired of kicking myself. So I think, you know what, get her done, because you know next week you're going to be kicking yourself in the tail end, man. And I'm sick of doing that. So that helps me, motivates me a little bit.
Okay.
I think God lately has been showing me that partial obedience is disobedience. And that has hit me really hard because there's a lot of areas where I do it like halfway until it gets like really uncomfortable. And I'm like, I think that's just good enough.
Saul, man.
You know, but
Saul
like,
did
I
most of what he's
don't
supposed to
want
do.
to sit in disobedience. Like,
Yeah.
that's a scary place for me to be. So
Mine's weirder than that. Mine's just like, who will do it if I don't? And I know that's probably, I don't know if that's healthy or not, but that's how I feel about stuff.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, if I don't do this, who will do it? Who's going to take this up? You know? And so I think that's what keeps me just like at the grind or always moving towards something. Like nobody else is going to do this for me. I think it's partly too, like how you're raised. Like I always felt like in my life, if I don't do this, no one else is going to do it for me.
Right. That's
And
good.
so I felt like that I have to go and take this, I
That's
have
good.
to go take this for myself.
Well, I think it's easy to get paralyzed too when you don't know what to do. So you're like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to do nothing. That doesn't seem to work very well.
That
Right?
doesn't run in my veins, and that's Hannah's always. She always make this. This is what you do know about me. I always have something going on. I'm always doing something. If I'm
Right.
not, I have
Even
no.
if it might be the wrong thing.
It might be, yeah, but I'm like, if I have downtime, my kids are laughing. Dad, you're playing the guitar today. We got guitar dad out here. We got bow dad out here. We have gun dad out here. So it's like I have all these things that I'm always like revolving around. But it's like I have to have this like this. I can't have downtime. It's
Right.
weird. It's like it's like but I do have rest.
Right.
That is my rest.
Right.
But I just can't have down. I always want to learn. I'm always doing something. But again, I think it just comes down to like, if I don't do this, I won't learn.
You know
or
what?
it's like I have that about me.
I like
So,
that. I do the same thing.
I think you do.
I do. I say,
yeah.
who will do this if I don't?
You'll
And then
do it,
I
yeah.
reminded Debbie will do it.
It comes off, oh yeah,
So I
that's
don't have
good.
to.
That's awesome. You know what though? It does
Usually
come.
it's
No,
true.
Pastor, you do have it for reals though, because it does come off. So in the work environment, it can come off very brash or rude. Like if I ask somebody to do something, right? So we work at a place, and I'm saying, hey, can you guys mind if you do this? And they're, I don't know if we have time. I'll just do it. Don't worry about it. I'll just do it. And it comes off as like, you think I'm lazy or whatever, but it's just me saying like, if you don't have time, I can just get it
Right,
done. And,
yeah.
and it does offend people.
Well,
It
you
rubs
use
people
that,
weird.
You use that tactic to motivate people too.
It's not a tactic, really. It isn't, because I'll do it. I'll do it.
Right.
I'm like, I don't care. I'll do it.
Right.
It seems tactical. Like I can see how you like. That's why I said I know it bugs people, because I'm like I said something to somebody the other day. I said I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do.
Right.
Like if I'm going to ask somebody to do something, I'm also willing to do that thing. I'm just asking you because it's part of a larger team. But I just always think like when I have a task to do, if you won't make time for it, I will make time for it, because it is important.
It reminds me, we have Marriage Street coming up. I'd like to have a session just with the men and give them some tricks of the trade. Because if I sit on the couch and go, Debbie, where is this thing at? Are you sure it's there? I don't know. She'll get up and find it for me. I don't
So
have to
good.
go look.
We remember,
So there's a
we
lot
make
of tricks
mental
of the
notes
trade.
when we see
Yeah,
those
I
things.
think
And
you
then
have a
when I get out of bed in
special
the
one.
morning, if I don't like the way I bed, I just kick the covers and make them a big old ball. And I'll leave the door open. It doesn't bother me if it stays that way all day. But she doesn't like it that way, so my bed will be made when I go back that night. I get all kinds of tricks of the trade.
I think my wife likes playing hide and go seek with my stuff. It's funny because it's like I'll put something on the counter, and she's like, once the counter's clean, so she'll move it. So it's like, it's every day. Babe, where did you put that? I didn't touch it. I promise I didn't touch it. And then it's like, Oh, I found it. It's here.
Oh,
But
I go, what'd you do with my clothes? Well, they were on the floor. I said, I haven't smelled them yet. I don't know if you need to put them away.
Yeah, I don't know, man. My wife is constantly moving stuff around and doing all this stuff.
Praise God, we all have different wives and husbands. They're all different personalities.
I don't know if it's more of a woman thing or not, or if it's a personality thing. It sounds like you have more of that personality, Vince, of just like you can't just sit still and not do anything, you know? And
yeah,
you always have to be doing
Vince
something.
is a hustler. I mean,
My wife's
I've
like
said
that.
it before. One of the biggest hustlers I've ever seen. And this guy gets stuff
sounds bad.
done.
No,
No, hustler's not the right
No,
word.
no, I know.
You're
It's okay.
very,
I know.
you're
That's the right
very
word.
disciplined
I get motivated.
and a
Yeah.
very good worker. I mean, he's got work ethics that I wish
appreciate
he
it.
would do classes on.
So getting back, I did write a couple things down about changing your mindset.
Okay.
Something that I've had in my little toolbox, which we do. We have these tools, right, that we kind of bring along with us as we go. And one of the tools or one of the ideas in my toolbox came from, I think Tony Robbins said it a long time ago, and it made sense. He said most people highly overestimate what they think they can accomplish in 1 year, and they highly underestimate what they think they can accomplish in a decade. And so the idea behind that is that incremental changes and, you know, small decisions and little things that you can accomplish over a long period of time makes a big difference versus thinking that you're going to do everything all at once. And so that idea brought me into a book called Grit by Angela Duckworth. Very good book. I recommend it. But the whole main idea behind it, that she says that it goes along with what Tony Robbins says, is that you stick with goals over a long time. That's how change happens. And you work through challenges and failures, and then you stay committed to improving, which I think is huge, right? Like, it's not. Sometimes we wonder, well, why did I just work really hard to do that thing? Well, did you learn something? Did you teach yourself how to get a little bit better at life through that process? You know, did God teach you a huge lesson through that? Even if it seemed like a failure from the world's, you know, standpoint, was it still profitable? And I think most of the time when you put effort into something, I think it is, right? I mean, it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
You can't steer a bus that's not moving, right? You can't. It has to move in order to steer it. And so the main idea is that Angela Duckworth talks about in the book Grit is that you have to have passion and perseverance. And I think that's great. I think it's wonderful. But I think it's only part of the equation. In order to have passion and perseverance, you have to have faith at first. You have to believe in what you're doing.
Yep.
And in order to believe in what you're doing, you have to have direction.
You have to do it.
You have to commit to a direction.
Yeah.
Because we don't always know,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't always know the right way to go. But if you go one way, and because like you're kind of working with some young people now doing like the young adults ministry. I used to do it. One of the biggest things that people will come up to me and say, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my life. You know, I don't know if I'm making the right decision. And as you get older, you learn that if you just make the best decision that you think that's better than doing nothing. It always is, because God will correct you, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess you could continue to be stubborn and not come back to God, and not, you know, there's a balance of getting direction, like I said, constantly, day by day by day by day, and just kind of checking in, right?
How many times do I pray sometimes? I go, God, I've really prayed, and I don't know what to do, but I got to do something. So right now, if you don't stop me,
Right.
this is what I'm going to do.
I love that if you don't stop me prayer.
You don't stop
I prayed
me.
all the time.
I got to do it.
I prayed all the time.
And then again, Josh, you talked about perseverance. I've been teaching for years. Faith is a substance. It's a substance. It's really something. Once you have faith, that faith will produce perseverance.
Yeah.
That faith is that inner strength that keeps you going forward.
So for people that say, I don't know what to do, and they're believers, I always say, go to prayer first.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm reading this book by I think an agnostic guy who wrote this book. He's a scientist. He wrote this book on how prayer actually changes the physicality of your mind and your body. It actually changes you. And I'm like, that makes sense. When I don't know what to do and I go to God, and I'm not talking about the driving around, you just flip somebody off and you say, I'm sorry, God, help me to be better at prayer, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about sitting down and saying, God, search my heart. Look at me. who am I in your story? Who am I in your in this world that you put me in, and show me how to move toward what's important.
But Josh, when people ask me, I don't know what to do, I say, do what you do know to do.
Yeah.
Do that.
There's always something.
Do that. And then, of course, what you said earlier, too, about this book or concept, that Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Again, it says that what we believe in the inner part of our being affects our DNA.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, of course, then we go back. Jesus said, your faith has made you well.
Right.
Let it be according to your faith. So anyway.
In the mental health world, it's funny because in CBT, the cognitive behavioral therapy, they teach you that thoughts will lead to feelings, right? Thoughts will make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And then your feelings will lead to actions.
Yep.
And
actions lead to a lifestyle.
And action, yeah, and then, hopefully you get into a good cycle. Because you know how it is. Like, it's living your life is the same as going to the gym, where it stinks at first. It's terrible at first.
Yeah.
You have no energy. You kind of feel worse after working out for the first week, but then you start feeling better and better and better until you're almost addicted to it.
Yeah.
Like making good decisions is the same thing.
Jelly Roll was just on the cover of Men's Health magazine. He just dropped like 300 pounds, some amazing amount
and
of weight.
He shaved his beard, didn't he?
Yeah, he like cut his beard up, but just an amazing
That
feat.
weighed a pound.
But it was, probably. But one of the coolest things I heard him say recently was he had promised his family, he'd been talking about for years and years and years, I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to change. And he would start to do something that would fail, would cave in. And he was on the cycle of just failure. Like he couldn't get it. And so he finally made up his mind. He said, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to do it. This is the year. He told his family and they're like, okay, yeah. Almost like they didn't believe him. And he's like, the day that he said he was going to do it, it was pouring rain outside. It was wind. He's like, nobody should go out in his weather. And he said, you know what? I've said no long enough. I can make an excuse today that it's rainy, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to suffer in the rain. I'm going to suffer in the wind. I'm going to do the thing. He said he went out and everyone's like, okay. He went out and did his walk. And he said he came home and his family was at his driveway cheering him on.
That's
to
cool.
Come back. And
That's
I just
cool.
said, you know what? Even on the hard days when we think, some of us have said, we're going to do this thing, and then we make 1,000 excuses on why we can't do it because it's too hard. It's like, now's the time to go out in the rain, go out in the wind, and I promise you on the other end, God is cheering you on. Even if you don't have family, you don't have friends. And that's what's beautiful about the church is because the church will cheer you on, man.
Right.
The church will cheer you on
should.
the journey.
It should.
Well, we will.
Yeah, we will. For sure.
There should be a cheering section in church.
Dad, you said something. Again, I'm just reminding you of all the things you taught us over the years, but you said, for years, you always said, never put off
Never put
tomorrow
off what you can do today.
And that's huge. I mean, I think that many of us, we think, I can just do it tomorrow, but tomorrow doesn't exist.
Nope. And so often I'll tell Debbie, let's do it now. Because if we don't do it now, there's chances we won't do it. Mm-hmm. So while we have time, the clock says we're okay. I really believe in that. So anyway, I didn't know if we had enough stuff to talk about, but really, I have a bunch more to talk about. I wrote down some notes to remind myself, but I think we've been about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes.
If you started, it's still we're beginning mid-January. It's not, you can keep trying.
Yeah.
Keep trying. I know some people that are perfectionists. They're like, okay, well, I didn't get up on January 1st and run that 5 miles like I wanted to, so I'm not, why even try? Because you're not going to go from 0 to 5 miles. You're going to go from 0 to half a mile. Mm-hmm. You're going to go from 0 to, you know what I mean? It's going to take work. It's going to take time.
I missed 3 days in the gym now, which is not something that I do normally. But I got up today and I'll illustrate what you just said. Oh man, Debbie, I messed around. It's 7:30. I can't go to the gym now. It's too late. I'm just not even going to go. And I didn't go. But so many other times I went anyway, and I thought, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to put stuff off till mañana.
So easy.
So easy. So anyway, well, we love you guys. And just yesterday, a young lady come by, and I think all three of us are back. Her says, I want to tell you, I love the podcast. And that motivated me. I thought, I needed to hear that today. So, Nikki, you're leaving this week. You're going traveling somewhere?
Yeah, we're doing our Christmas.
Costa Rica?
Yeah, we're going to go to Costa Rica next week, so I won't be here for the podcast.
That's going to be hard for you. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I've never been to Costa Rica.
That's our happy place,
Okay,
and that's our
been
Christmas
there.
present to the family.
Okay. Wow, I might have tried Costa Rica on a vacation.
Pura vida, right?
Yeah, it's a
Stay
chilled
always-
What do you
atmosphere.
like about Costa Rica?
You know what? We love the monkeys and the big iguanas, and we go zip lining and ATVs.
Lot to do.
You'd probably love it, Pastor.
Does it feel safe?
You know what? We have always felt extremely
But do you
safe
stay
there.
in a
We do stay in a nice
resort?
hotel
Okay.
resort area, but we go out. The people are amazing.
Wow, I would like that.
I love the people of Costa
How much
Rica.
long of a flight is it?
It's like 5 hours.
That's
It's
not bad at all.
No, 4.5.
That's like
5
Hawaii.
hours. Yeah, it's about the same.
Wow.
So I'll
Okay.
miss you guys next
Costa
week, but-
Rica this summer. Costa Rica. I'm
gonna
coming.
go. I'm gonna go vacation in Venezuela this this summer.
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, hey, God bless you guys. Love you. Let us know that if you enjoy the podcast. We would really like to hear. So see you later.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel alright. The kind you wanna stay up with all night. You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel whole. They won't leave your side when you lose control. The ones that don't let you lose your soul.